Hey, what's up, you guys? Rasathi out here in Singapore. Friday, man. Okay, you know what? Friday before Christmas, 2 Fridays before New Year's. Where the hell has this year gone? Anyway, I'm kind of excited. Feel pretty good about the things that I've accomplished this year so far. It started off with t-shirts. We went into fitness a little bit. We got a lot done this year, but there's definitely way more that I could be doing. Um, Looking back over the plans that I had, looking back from where I've been able to get money, sources of income, different sources of income, not just the same one, you guys. I'm actually really pleased and happy about the way my life is actually moving forward. So, with all of that said and done, right, I feel fan freaking tastic about the year to come because I know that if I get the structure right, it won't be so much of a struggle. It'll be like, okay, you follow this, you follow this, you follow this. This is the way the day goes. Man, I'm going to tell you, I used to hate schedules. My mom said, okay, you wake up in the morning, this happens now, and then this happens after that. Like so many different things that you had to do, right? And I hated it. But eventually, what ended up happening was when I lived without a schedule, I realized how many things were like last minute or things that I forgot that I needed to do. And so this year, for the first time in forever, I've actually used a planner pretty much the entire way through. Usually I get them in about January, and by about March or April, I've kind of like stopped using it completely. And this year, I've actually been really good about following through and writing down everything that's been happening because that way I keep track. So right now, everything is about calendars for me, and I've been really glad that I can go back and like check on, what happened when, dates, events, meetings that I had, just, as a follow up, as a reference for me. So getting better at those things. But let's just jump into the topic at hand. I want to talk to you about the first time jitters. I was listening to a podcast, as always. See it. I'm not sure how to say his name. See it Fitness was talking about the first time he went into a jujitsu dojo and how he wore a gi for the first time, and he did it based on what he understood, what it was supposed to look like based on YouTube videos and other social media, and the mistakes he made and how embarrassing it was, and how he could have just walked out of that dojo and never come back, but he decided to go for it and keep with the program, basically, right? So from first day to like years of jujitsu, he feels so great about where he started. But he also mentioned the fact that his beginning memories of that day, that first day, he remembers very, very clearly what all happened, how embarrassed he was every time that somebody said something that kind of put him in his place in front of the class, and he felt really, really awkward. But what he mentioned that was most important to me, that was eye catching to me, or ear catching as the case may be, was the fact that he remembered that moment a specific way. But if you were to ask other people to recollect that same day, they would not recollect the memory the way he did. He would have seen it as a completely embarrassing time. He, screwed up, and he, looked really, really foolish in front of everybody. But other people, if you were to ask them about that same moment, as in like date, time, place, they would probably give you something that referred to them, that had nothing to do with you at all. And people forget that that's exactly how your memory operates, your recollection of the story. I remember figuring that out really, really early as a kid, me and my two brothers, right? So we get in trouble for certain things, like you're supposed to do things a certain way in a particular order, and if we didn't, or if we like fudged that we did it, we had to figure out how to tell the story so that all of our stories weren't exactly the same, so it was believable, because all of our perspectives, in theory, would never be the same anyway. I would remember things differently, right? So, with that being said, first time jitters is a real, real thing. First time jitters is all about the fact that, you are going to try something, dip your toe in the pool, and if it's too cold, you either just run out, or you like, you know what? Forget it. Never mind. Dip a toe, dip a whole foot. Never mind. I'm just going to jump in and try this anyway, because eventually your body will adjust, right? But people don't see it that way. There are so many people out there that want to try. They want to try. They have this idea. It's like burning a hole in their brain, and they want to go and try this thing. And they know they could do it, but then they get to that place where everyone's watching, and they're in a position to maybe fall flat on their face, fail tragically, or just make a complete ass out of themselves, and that experience, that fear, that imagination kind of stops them dead in their tracks, and they don't do it. Let me give you an example. I am scared of heights, but when I go watch people, well, when I was a kid, when I watched people get on the ride for roller coasters and stuff, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. I can't do this. And I'd be afraid, and I'd like mope and sulk and stand by myself while all my cousins got in line for the ride. When they get down off that roller coaster and they're screaming and laughing, and they're talking about how crazy it was, and they lost their stomach in the air somewhere, and they almost felt like they had to pee because it was so what is that word? Exciting and terrifying at the same time, but they're laughing and joking because they shared that experience together. There's a camaraderie that was built suddenly, right? And then that's when I jump in. I'm like, oh, I want to go. But at that point, my mom's like, well, you should have gone when we told you to go. You were too chicken to go. And now you're like, you're whining about the fact that you didn't get a chance. I don't want my dreams to be like that. I don't want to get to a place in my life where I'm looking back and I'm like, damn, I was too chicken to do that shit. Like what I could have been the greatest. I used to feel that way about America's Next Top Model. We watching this show and they don't show you the behind the scenes. Obviously they show you all the cut footage and they're talking about, oh, this is the challenge today. You're gonna stand here upside down near water and you have to look sexy. And I'm like, man, anybody can do that. No, 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 not everybody can do that. I have had people take pictures of me, and unless I'm in the middle of a movement or something and I'm not paying attention to the camera, it looks crazy. I look just weird and awkward, like super awkward. I mean, like gangly, all elbows and all knees, kind of awkward. Like I haven't grown into my body and haven't owned it yet. So I look terrible. I'm going to tell you right now. I had somebody take pictures of me at the shoot. He asked me to come stand against a blue wall because the contrast would have been beautiful, right? Oh my God, the pictures came out terrible. Why? Because I just looked awkward. I looked awkward. Yeah, I should never take pictures again. But the point is, you think you can do these things. And you probably can, but that first time is going to suck. That first time is going to be terrible. So it just depends on you. Are you going to go back and try again? Are you going to go back and do something different? Are you going to go back and be like, you know what? All right, I got the bad one out the way. Let's go get the good one now. This is why people, when they're at photo shoots, they don't take just one picture. They take many. And they give you direction. And they guide you. And they tell you how to hold your arm. And they show you what the picture looks like so you can see the awkwardness for yourself and try and adjust and relax. Okay, maybe it's not photography. Maybe your thing is you want to go try out for a sport team. Let me tell you something. I wanted to run track so badly. I thought I was the fastest kid in the universe. I had some wheels on me. I have some wheels on me now, but I wanted to run track. And the thing is, my boyfriend at the time was on the track team, and he was good. I mean, he played 3 sports. He played basketball, he played football, he ran track. Now, I've never played a sport in my life. Now I was thinking, all right, track is kind of, it's not that special. It's not something where you have to coordinate with other people unless you're running, relay. Other than that, it's just you run your race. It's just you. You don't have to worry about passing the ball properly or, traveling or dribbling or, false starts, any of those things. You don't have to worry about none of that. It's just you and the track, and you just run, right? Well, because he played 3 sports and he's always played like multiple sports, I trusted his opinion. And I mean, it's my boyfriend, right? I was hoping he would really know what he's talking about and really care about my well-being. And so he told me, hey, you know what? Your form is kind of crazy and you run kind of funny, so you probably don't want to run track. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what if I get on that track and people start laughing at me? Not thinking that if I get on the track and if I'm fast enough, somebody will teach me the form so I'm faster. Somebody will teach me how to breathe better, how to be more efficient, how to be a better athlete. I didn't think about that. I thought about how many people were going to laugh at me, and guess what? I did not try out for track. But what I did instead, because I wanted to play a sport, I wanted to try, I walked on to the lacrosse team, which is kind of insane because I've never seen lacrosse played a day in my life. I didn't know what it was. I had to look it up. I had to figure out what the difference was between field hockey and lacrosse before I went to tryouts. And even then, tryouts, okay, I was kind of out of shape, because my sense of shape was dance, right? It's not running. It's not endurance to the point that you run and exert yourself really hard in order to make it through a whole game. Mine was more like you sit in Adamundi for hours and your movements are sharp and your legs can take the stance for hours at a time. And that's that kind of endurance. Jump and turn and, squat and stretch and all those things. It's not running. I was not a runner, okay? But I walked onto the team. And looking back as I was retelling this story to a friend of mine just a couple of days ago, I was telling him, look, I wanted to do this, but I didn't. I did that instead. And they were like, well, yeah, you look like you could be really fast. And I'm thinking, well, shit. I was really fast on the lacrosse field. I was really fast. I think it was the speed that got me on the team. And no one said anything about my form. No one said anything about, what I looked like when I ran. They talked about how to hold a stick and how to cradle really well, but they corrected whatever that might have needed correcting. They never said anything. And until I told the story 2 days ago to my friend, I didn't realize what I wasn't focusing on. So you guys, first day jitters happens to everybody. The first time I got on stage to practice with my aunt as a teacher, let me tell you, that was damn tragic. She expected me to have this level of form that I did not have. And she was my aunt, so I was thinking maybe she'd go easy on me. Nope, that's not how it works in Asian families. They're harder on you than they are on anybody else. You get it. You're like the scapegoat for everything. You are the one they will sacrifice every time. It's terrible. But it was necessary. Now, I could have quit after that first class because it wasn't just the first class. It was the first year of classes, I think. And honestly, I didn't have a choice. I had to go to class because it's family, right? But I do love dancing. And I can't tell you how many times I hid in the bathroom and cried because I didn't want to be pulled up in front of everybody in class and look like a complete idiot, and feel like I was like worthless as far as dance was concerned. You know how many times I ran from class crying, how many times I hid in the bathroom hoping that no one would come find me. I'd be like, I need to go to the bathroom because I knew I was going to get it next. And I'd go to the bathroom and I'd stay there and wait. And then, of course, she'd send somebody to come find me. But I had a lot of those moments and I pushed through all of them. And it's going to be the same with acting and modeling. It's going to be the same with cooking shows and dance rehearsal. Like, it's going to be the same, you guys. Every time you stretch a little bit further out of your comfort zone, it's going to suck at first. And it's going to be like, oh, no. You should just stay here. I mean, what are the odds, right? You're not going to make it. So just stay here because you know you're okay here. My first year out of the rat race, out of corporate Singapore, America, wherever you want to, out of the corporate life, right? Go to work, come back, do what you can, and get up and go to work again. Yeah. My first year out of that sucked. It was hard. No, I didn't have the guaranteed paycheck. And no, I wasn't able to buy the things I wanted to buy. Everyone was like, oh yeah, let's go out. And I'm thinking, nah, can't. Coming up with dumb excuses for I can't go anywhere because I simply did not have the money for an $80 cover charge and then to buy a bottle afterwards. It's not like I was going to drink the whole damn bottle by myself anyway. I didn't have that kind of money to waste. You want good music? I'll tell you where you can go and chill for like free and listen to live music or a DJ or both. I know those spots. I know how to have a good time without spending money. Why? Because I had to force myself to learn. This first year of not being in a corporate job means no automatic CPF, no automatic savings. I mean, let's face this, okay? I was making $4,000 a month and still living paycheck to paycheck. Now, I have no idea what the hell I spent it on for real, but think about that. $4,000 a month and you're still living paycheck to paycheck. Whereas that first year, I maybe, when I was lucky, on a good month, made $500 a month. And guess what? I did not disintegrate. I did not melt into a puddle on the floor. I was not hanged, drawn and quartered, tarred and feathered, or crucified. I survived on far less than I thought I needed. And I was happy because the time belonged to me and no one else. But to make that change, to stick it through for an entire year and not fall back into, oh no, you know what? No, I can't. I have to get a job. Nah, I made it work. Things changed. Wedding popped up. Mom came to live with me. Every change that happened, it was hard. I mourned the life I had before the change. I went through a grief cycle before the change. I wanted that life back because I'd gotten comfortable, but guess what? The universe showed me what I actually needed to survive. The universe showed me how much I actually needed to spend to keep myself and my family well fed. Well fed, not just bare minimum, well fed. The reason I started meal prep is because I realized how much I could make and feed myself at the same time because I have the gift of cooking. I can make in bulk and I can make it at such a price that I can make a profit and you can get the food you want. It's not paying through the nose. It's not gourmet prices. Honey, this is Food Republic prices, okay? It's a little bit more than kopitiam, But the point is, it's not a far reach. And I made it work. First time jitters are real. No doubt. But your memory of what that first time is not going to be what everyone else remembers about you. Unless, of course, you go around telling the story 100,000 times. Keep the story for yourself. Keep the story so that when someone else is facing the same dilemma you face, you can tell them, hey, I've been where you are. I felt those same things. I was scared. I didn't want to go back. But look what happened when I did. Look what happened when I pushed through. Look what happened when I let my fear of what other people thought go and pursued the things I really wanted. Now, this year was about maintaining status quo in the house. Next year is going to be about excess. Not excess to the point that, oh, I'm buying a mansion, I'm buying a car, I'm buying jewelry. Nah. Excess is in, I'm going to make enough money so that I never have to worry about where it's going to come from, when it's going to come. Again. Next year is going to be about making the kind of money where I don't have to look at the account balance anymore. Because it's constantly coming in. Because let's face it, I am serving. I show up every day. I make sure that I am present somewhere in your lives. There's something of me. If you need it, you can find me. Every day. So if I'm putting the value out there, if I'm creating the love that I need to see for the world to change out there, I know the universe will bring it back to me too. If I am creating abundance by being myself in every possible platform, I know it will come back to me. So I'm not going to let a first time scare the crap out of me. Not anymore. I've had plenty of firsts. And I'm still here, y'all. I hope this made sense. So don't get those first day jitters. Don't let them keep you down. Don't let them keep you in the shadows. Go stand in your spotlight. You created that spotlight. You deserve that spotlight. Do you? If you have questions, you know where to find me. I'll catch you soon.